Hi, this is Kay Horn. I'm back today with this little UFO, this unfinished object here. I started this painting a while ago. It was just a little painting that I started with the theme of I am joyful, or I am a joyful being seeking joy. So I'd like to go ahead and continue with that theme and get started with this. There's some, I'd like to do some changes on here. To begin with, I would like to do a different background, so I'm going to paint over this with some light blue to represent the sky. We'll still have some of the yellow peeking through to give it a little sunshine coming through. So the main objective of this painting is to remind us that we are joyful beings seeking joy. So that's not so easy to do. In this little painting right now, with the purple and the leaves, I use that as just to fill up the space, and as a base for these petals for our sunflower here. It was just to use up paint that I'd had from the previous project that I was working on. So now I've taken a look at this for a good while now, and it's going, yeah, this doesn't look very joyful to me right now. And isn't that the way life is? That we start out feeling blue and sad and not so happy, and for me, I have to talk myself into being happy a lot of times. So I always want to, as much as possible, choose happiness. Now that's not an easy thing to do. It's just, for one thing, once you get in the middle of feeling less than happy, unhappy or irritated or fearful or whatever you may be feeling that is less than joyful, it's hard to remember that, oh yeah, I have a tool that I can use, and that tool is an affirmation that says, I choose happiness. I am joyful. I am blissful. I have used that so many times in my life, especially after my husband passed and during difficult times when I wasn't joyful or happy at all. But I was just really tired of being unhappy. It's exhausting for me to be happy. That's really not my first nature. Now, I'm not happy all the time, but at least I try to convince myself when I'm not to be happy, when I remember to do it. But it's not easy to do. So life is just not easy, but it is doable, and it sure helps to know some tools that you can use to change your perspective on things. Alrighty, so anyway, back to this little painting here. I am trying to change the background, and I'd like to fill the background with some happy flowers, some all different colored flowers, pink, yellow, whatever I can use. And I'm going to be using this template here, this stencil, to help me do that. But right now I just want to change this background a little bit so that I can go ahead and move forward and try to make this painting look a little happier than it does to me right now. So you can see that I've gone over and I'm going to have to redefine my petals. I like to go ahead and paint the sides of my canvases while I'm at it. So that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm going to, in just a second, we'll be working on the petals and the center part of the sunflower, the middle part of the sunflower. What I'm planning there is to do some kind of like a rainbow, I'm thinking, because that's where I'm going to be writing my affirmations. The affirmations that I'll be using is, I am a joyful being seeking joy. I choose happiness, and I am joyful. And all of my paintings and artwork is meant to be used as a tool to help you remember, to help me remember, help anybody who has the artwork, who buys the artwork or whatever, to remember and to use the artwork as a tool, as inspiration, to help you remember, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing, this is what my intention is. So that's what we're going to be doing right now with this little painting here. Alrighty, So gonna go ahead, I've got the background that's gonna be drying, and then I will go ahead and put flowers in that background. I'll be doing these petals later on. I'm gonna go ahead and address the little center of the flower here. I'm gonna try to do some sort of modified rainbow kind of structure thing here. So let's see how this will work out. This whole painting has truly been an experiment. I haven't had any kind of anything that I have been using as inspiration other than that affirmation. So it's just, you know, a experiment here, if you will. But that's kind of what makes life exciting is I know for me, I like having a roadmap of what's happening in my life, but my guides remind me that roadmaps are boring, and that to think of my life as the most exciting novel that I've ever read, and that I just can't wait to turn the page. It's like, well, okay, sometimes that's easier said than done. So we always want to know what's going to happen before it happens a lot of times, because I'm kind of a planner myself, so I know not everybody is, but I kind of like to have a loose outline of where I'm going and what I think may happen. So there you go, there's that. Alrighty, so next we're gonna, let's see, what can we do? This area up in here needs to be addressed after we do these petals. So I'm gonna do, I think, one more band of color through here. Let's see, what do we want to use? Oh, I think I like this color here. Some of the colors I'm using here are luminescent colors, or they're bright colors, or neon colors, whatever you want to call it. And some of them are not, but they're bright colors. And you can see I'm just putting a transparent layer of color over top of this background that I went ahead and I used a stencil to put these yellow flowers on the background, which didn't show up very well and didn't look very good. But got a little bit of white in there, but I'm kind of liking that. So anyways, I like the way that that's coming through. It's a different effect. That was something I didn't plan on for sure. Okay, I think we're just gonna, let's try this orangey color here, see how that works. Well, that brightens things up, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm really liking that. Okay. Especially because I think I got a touch of the pink in there. That's really, I really like that. Alright, I'm already liking this little painting more than I was when I first started on it. Yeah, it's looking better to me. It's looking a little happier than it did. That's the thing about painting. You just keep on, or artwork of any kind, you just keep on painting until you like the way that it looks. And oh, now we're talking. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back over this and redefine the edges once we do the petals of the sunflower. But yeah, now we're talking. Now we're looking happier. Okay, this is looking happier for darn sure. Just needed some brighter colors on there. So with acrylics, especially in watercolor, you paint in layers. And that's the way it is. Even when I make my journals, everything is all about layering. So you just keep on working on it until you like. If it's really aggravating, then you just set it aside. It becomes a UFO or a UFP, whatever you want to call it, an unfinished project. And then you come back another day. All right, let's see. I'm already liking this so much better. I'm going to go ahead and work on the background back here. I want to put some flowers back there. And I think the way I'm going to do this will be with a sponge. It kind of works a little bit better. Let's see if I can get some of this on here. We're going to do it in kind of in graduated tones, so we'll put a little bit of this on here. And this will just, once again, this will be a background image of a flower, and I'll go back in there and redefine these later. But right now, this is what we're going to do with them, or this is what I'm going to do with them. Just to give us an outline. It's just a little quicker way of doing things, and it's an interesting way of doing things also. I discovered stenciling earlier this year when I was working on journals, and it's like, to me, that was using a stencil was kind of like always cheating, but it adds a lot of, I think, a lot of interest, background interest, especially when you're working in layers on things. So, oops, oh, okay, I'm going to be a little concentrated there, but that's all right. I'll just make it work. Okay. Let that go there for a little bit. Okay, what else we got? Oh, let's try this color here. I don't want them to all be the same. Let's do them a little bit different. Well, these are definitely happier colors than that. Those purple petals over there. So yeah, now we're talking happy. How can you not be happy with neon colors and flowers and rainbows, right? That just says happy to me all over the place. Okay. Now there we go. Let's get one of those down here. We're going to have to move the stencil in just a second. But let's go over here and let's try another one of these. And if I don't like this, I can always go over and paint it again. That's the beauty of paint. Just do it again. You're not ever stuck, because there's always lots of options to do everything with paint. And anyway, any kind of artwork there is. I used to, when I first started, I wanted to be a photorealist. Oh yeah, now we're happy. Cool. All right. Well, I think I need to go down here a little bit, because I'm going to smear that other one there if I don't. Let's do one here. Oh, that's going to be messy. Okay, here we go. Little one here. Yeah, that's messy. Darn, I had a good thing going there. Now I just messed that up. Well, okay, we got paint. We know how to paint over things. We'll just have to do that. Okay. Need, I think, a lighter color through here. Got red on this. Red is so intense. It's gonna really... we got paint on. Oh, okay. Well, just want to take care of that real quick. Let's see if we can. It's good to know how to clean up your messes if you just futz around and mess something up that you really don't like. Like I said, you can always paint over it. Otherwise, you can just wipe it off. So, baby wipes help a lot. They wipe up a lot of things, including paint messes. And I've been known to paint with them once or twice, so. Alright, we're going to work on that a little bit. We're just going to make that into the background. We just have to make it work. It's like it's always an embellishment opportunity with mistakes. We'll just kind of maybe change the background a little bit too while we're at it. Okay, we'll just make it all work. One way or another, it's all going to work. I'm not sure how, but we'll just futz with it until it does work. Oh, I'm really liking the neon pink over here. I like that up there, so I'm going to do some more of that over here. But where on my stencil am I going to do that at? Oh yeah, let's get that one right there. I think I used up all that pink, but we can try this one here. See, what does this one look like? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, but I think we need some of that. This is a color called Opera, and it's just beautiful. That neon pink, it just brightens everything up and makes it all look happy there. We probably could use some more of the yellow there. But let's go with the neon pink right now here. Where's a good place? How am I going to do this? Right there, maybe. Let's try that. I'm going to spread some, bring some of that color around all over the canvas. Yeah, that's a little better. Now let's need a little bit of that yellow over in here. So let's see what we can do with this. It helps if you lay the stencil down. It's not bouncing everywhere. That makes a big difference. Okay, a little messy, but I think I kind of like it. I'm going to do another one down here, just on the edge. Spread it around a little bit. Where else do we need it? We can use something here. Okay, something over there. Up in here. Oh, we still need to finish this little something up there too, don't we? Okay, we'll turn that around, see if we can make that a little more attractive. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can kind of blend this into the background a little bit more, even take it off. Let's see. This is kind of looking messy over here. So we're going to be painting over that. Bring this down here. And this edge, I'm not really happy with that edge there, so what can I do about that? Do a little something else here. Oh, that wasn't what I expected. I think I was painting with foam there from the rinsing out the sponge. So I guess we'll just go over and kind of make this more uniform like this. So at least that looks much better, I think. And we may need to fill in with a little on our own over here. So let's see what we can do with that. Get that flower to kind of go off the edge there. There we go. I'm liking that better. And we'll just enhance that petal over here while we're at it. Man, I love that color. That's just so awesome. And I'm going to add a little bit of this up here. Put a little center there. Something like a center. Not exactly, but hey. Because that red, the red's okay, but I like the pink better. See what we can do with this little one here. Maybe a little bit of yellow. There we go. And then we'll do more of that later on. Maybe I should do a little bit of this right here while I'm here. So it will be underneath the petal there. I like painting backgrounds, so sometimes I get too enthused about the backgrounds. Backgrounds are supposed to be backgrounds, but sometimes I think I make them a little too bright. But if I do, we can always fix it somehow, some way. I don't know, I'll figure out something. Okay. All right. And we'll do this one a little bit. Paint's a little bit thick. So the stencils just, I use them as a starting point a lot of times. Okay, now let's work on these petals. See what we can do with those. This is super, super bright. Wow, it's very bright, especially with those. And the thing about acrylics is you never know what they're going to really turn out like until the next day when you when they dry, because they always dry darker than what you think they are. And that is just kind of transparent. So we're going to add a little bit of white to it so it's not so transparent. And you can see the brush strokes. That's not so attractive, is it? I'm going to try it. These paints that I think I'm using are transparent colors, so I'll probably have to go back over these again. Yeah, that's not looking so good. Get a bigger paintbrush so the strokes, can't see the strokes so much. Just kind of smooth that out. Yeah, still not liking that a whole lot. So far this painting has gone from sad to happier, and now it's still kind of messed up, which is, yeah, that's like life, right? So we're once again, we're just painting layers, layers upon layers upon layers. Sometimes some of my paintings have as many as 15 layers of paint on them. I'm going to bring this down here a little bit more. We'll just have to redefine that. So everything's always futzing and fixing, and you hardly, oh, now look at that. Too much water with that. But the petal at least is not consistent. So every time we lay down and pick up our brush and put paint on it, we want it to come up with a different color, because that adds contrast and it adds depth and interest to what we're working on. So see, those are different colors there, and we're gonna have to go back over those again. Well, this is looking happier, that's for darn sure. Okay, what else can we do down here? Let's try this color. So next time I use this particular brand of paint, it's hoping, and it's not cheap, but I usually use a Liquitex Heavy Body, and it's a more opaque paint than this is. This is a more transparent paint, which can be very interesting used at the right, with the right subject and right piece, and or at least the piece that you wanted it to use, to be on. Oop, I got like a, I don't know, something there. Okay, let's keep on moving. I'll go into this one over here. These flowers in the background, they remind me of the 1960s. That's a lot really orange. Those flower power images, that was back in the 1960s when I was in, I guess, middle school maybe. Okay, we're going to add some of this to the others. Well, we have it on the brush here. There we go. Well, It's happier than the purple, huh? But need to squeeze out some more yellow. Yeah, this is definitely looking happier. Oops. Okay, got more of that than I expected. And I think we need that other color too, that orangey. What is that called? That is called, this one is Hansa Yellow Light. And this one is Luminous Yellow. It's kind of an orangey yellow, I think. And it's neon. Hence the name Luminous. There we go. Just needs a little more on the tip where the sun would be hitting it. So I'm assuming the sun is coming from this way. So I want the tips of my flowers to be lighter, probably than the base of my flowers. And my petals, instead of flowers, I mean petals. Need some more water. We'll get this last one, and then we can start going in and redefining things a little bit more. Well, this definitely looks a lot happier than it did when we started. That's the whole point. All right, so our affirmations are, I am a joyful being seeking joy. When I first heard that, I go, oh my God, how come I didn't know that sooner? I wish I'd gotten that memo, like, I don't know, about 60 years ago. I didn't know that. And how many times are we told that we are joyful beings seeking joy? Like, never. I can't remember anyone told me that. But that should be one of the first things that we're taught, right? Make our lives go easier, I think, instead of course, there's always going to be painful things in our life, I think. And that's so we can learn and progress and learn how to move forward and about the strength and all, you know, all the lessons of life. I really don't like the lessons of life, tell you the truth. It's like, yeah, sometimes, you know, people say, oh yeah, it's just a life lesson. It's like, well, I would rather not. Thank you very much. But still have those life lessons I got to go through. So just try to use my tools, my affirmations. I am happy, I am joyful. Oh gosh. I choose happiness. And I have to remind myself of that. Sometimes when I wake up grumpy, because I don't wake up real easily. So I'll be on the way to work and, you know, I'm still grumpy on the way to work. I will have to remind myself to say, I am happy. I am joyful. And if I say that enough, then sooner or later I become that. I'll be, you know, working in a shop. I work in a metaphysical shop 1 day a week, and I really enjoy it. I talk to a lot of people, and it keeps me in touch with people. I still work fairs and things too, but working in the store, I like sales a lot. It's always fun. I talk to the people and I ask them. Most of the time people come into a metaphysical shop and they're like deers in the headlight. They know they want something, but a lot of times they're not sure what they're looking for, and sometimes they don't even know why they're there. And so I ask them how they're doing, what I can help them with, and if they'll say I don't know, then I'll pay attention to what they're looking at, and then I'll ask questions, and I listen to what they say, and then I think of things in the store that we have for sale that may be something that can help them, maybe something that they're looking for, and I try to provide them options. Whoops, I think I just got into the blue. Darn it. Wasn't paying attention when I was too much. Oh, but hey, I kind of like it. Okay, There we go. Now this is looking a lot better. Okay, let's get some highlights over here on these. There you go. Better. We want some of these to overlap the other ones, so I will do that. I will make this one go over top of the other one. Okay. Yep, I'm liking this so much better than I did when we first started. I've been looking at this little painting going, oh my gosh, how am I going to fix this thing? Because it was just that first layer with the purple, it dried darker than I expected it to. I don't know why I didn't expect it to dry darker, but it did. And so, there we go. So like that center one in, sometimes you have to just keep going back, especially with acrylics. You have to keep going back and adding lighter colors on top of the darker ones if you're wanting it to be lighter. Oops, got kind of wild there with my strokes, but that's all right. Okay, not so much better. Okay, liking that. Let's get some more color down in here to these pieces. Can you hear the birds in the background? I like to listen to birds singing when I paint. Sometimes I listen to podcasts, sometimes I listen to music, but I like the birds best. Okay, put some more white in this one here. Okay, much better. Now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do at the bottom of these stems going into the middle of the flower. Oh yeah, I think I like these better. Usually if I am painting on something and I don't like it, it's almost always because I've made it too small. So when I make it bigger, I always like it better. Scale is a lot. Okay, so let's get this one here going. So that leaf is a little bit underneath the other, so that's really good. We got that going on.